Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your source for Second Amendment news. 18, that's the number. 18 states have band together to join a conglomerate of maroons that want to restrict the Second Amendment even further. What do I mean? Stick by and check this out. So yesterday, which was July 23rd, 2019, the Attorney General of the state of Virginia, yes, if you live in Virginia and you're one of those people that say not in my state, be warned what's going on right now. Virginia and 17 other states have joined a group to defend their ability, each state's ability, to ban high-capacity magazines, or what the rest of the world calls standard-capacity magazines. Now, Virginia and their other partners in crime filed an amicus brief in the Court of Appeals in the Ninth Circuit in the Duncan versus Becerra case, and that was California's ban on anything more than 10 rounds as far as a magazine capacity is concerned. Now, Virginia Attorney General Mark Herring had this to say, and I quote, "Virginia and other states have the right, and I believe the responsibility, to enact common sense, broadly supported gun safety laws that will save lives and reduce gun violence." Actually, Giacomo, less rounds in my magazine, it restricts my ability to save myself or others in the event that criminals follow the pattern that they followed throughout history and tend to travel in packs. At least those who are doing the jumping, mugging, and home invasions, which is where you would typically use a gun to defend yourself. Attorney General Herring continues saying, "I am going to keep pushing for stronger gun safety laws in Virginia, like universal background checks and a ban on high-capacity magazines. And I am going to fight in court to make sure we have the right to make those decisions ourselves." Virginia, I hope you're listening. Now, you may recall that in April of 2019, California's Freedom Week happened. 1 week where Judge Benitez struck down the magazine ban, saying it was unconstitutional, and by many calculations, many estimates, millions of standard capacity magazines flooded into the state legally, and subsequently there was a stay put on that judge's decision, and right now those magazines are considered legal because they were obtained during a legal period where they weren't banned, and that is still being worked on right now. These 18 attorneys general argue that a ban on standard capacity magazines, or the way they say it, large capacity magazines, is a reasonable restriction that Virginia and other states can choose to adopt because, now listen, this is what they're going on. 1. Regulating large capacity magazines protects the public. Nope. It actually can cause more harm than good to the public. But I'll continue. The brief cites evidence that large capacity magazines are especially attractive to mass shooters and criminals, posing increased risk to innocent civilians and law enforcement. At the same time, there is no proof that large capacity magazines are necessary or even commonly used for self-defense. What they don't say is that, I don't know, there's like 300 million gun owners, a couple billion guns owned by the legal, law-abiding folks. Probably of those couple billion, a good billion to a billion and a half standard capacity magazines, and they're not running around hosing people. Kind of goes against your logic. Everybody out there has standard capacity magazines, yet they're just not going off and just shooting all by themselves. They're not a risk to public safety. They're not a risk to police. They're not a risk to anybody other than the person trying to break into my house at night, or like just happened a couple days ago, a bunch of people broke into a house, and the husband, who was injured, fought off these intruders and shot them and killed them with an AR in his home. They always say ARs are not for home defense. The FBI stats say that the average confrontation just on the police side of things is 3 rounds in 3 seconds in 3 yards or less. So that's for one person. It gets worse. This is what they're saying as well. The Second Amendment does not prevent states from enacting common sense gun safety measures. This brief explains that states are entitled to adopt reasonable restrictions on firearms to address the unique conditions within their borders and protect public safety. restricting access to large capacity magazines is a reasonable restriction because it would reduce firearm injuries and deaths while leaving many other options open for individuals. How in the frick does that even compute to make sense? My round count doesn't lessen the amount of injury to anybody other than those people who deserve to get what they're getting. If somebody has put not just me, anybody, any law-abiding gun owner, if some criminal has put that person in a scenario where they are fearing for their life, or they see somebody who might be, facing a loss of their life because of something that's going on, they're needing those rounds to save lives, not to reduce the amount of injury to that bobo who's trying to murder somebody. It continues, states have a responsibility to prevent gun violence and protect public safety. The brief notes that states have primary responsibility for ensuring public safety. This includes a duty to reduce the likelihood that their citizens will fall victim to preventable firearm violence, and to minimize fatalities and injuries when that violence does occur. The brief notes that deciding how best to protect the safety of state residents is a question better suited to the legislature than the courts. Now, while the states are tasked with public safety, they are not tasked with violating civil rights. Throughout history, tyrannical governments have used public safety, or the children, in order to lessen the ability of the masses to protect themselves. There's a reason. Let's not let history repeat itself here in the United States. Now, if you're asking yourself, Jared, he said 18 states. What are they? I need to know if Mayan is in this group. Here you go. The District of Columbia is in on this, but also in this group is Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Michigan, Minnesota, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, Virginia, and Washington. Now, there's some big ones in there. Mostly ones we couldn't always count on to be there because they're slave states. If you really like, I'll have a copy of this amicus brief for your perusal. It's 35 pages long. Link will be in the description. Please check it out. And please do me a favor, spread this around. And if you're still not a subscriber to Guns and Gadgets, do me a solid. Tomorrow, July 25th, it is my birthday. Hit that subscribe button. I would love to hit 100,000 subscribers on my birthday. What more, what better birthday present than to get this channel where I never thought it would be on my birthday and tell YouTube, hi. If you can do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. Pass it along to some other friends you might have that don't know the channel yet, and this is where they're going to find Second Amendment news as fast as possible, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, right here. And don't forget my other platforms that I post on, BitChute, Gunstreamer, YouTube. Patreon is where you can support this channel if that is something you're interested in. A lot of gun activity going on here, a lot of ammo being purchased, and that is because of the direct support by the viewers. So thank you very much. Can't do this without you. Thank you. As always, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. Be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon. Take care, everybody.